What is up, guys? Josh from Cardfight Empire back again, bringing you guys a brand new FutureFight video. Today we're going to be covering the new Alfred deck from Character Booster 1. Pretty solid deck, I must say myself. When I was playing it, I didn't think... Now, the first version I made of the deck was very, very bad. I'm not going to show that version. But I tried to use, so when I make decks for FutureFight, like I try to, when I make decks for FutureFight, I try to use a bunch of the cards from the actual set that I'm making it from, and sometimes it just doesn't turn out well because I just wouldn't use older cards, and then like sometimes the older cards are just better, and there's no way to get around like not using the older cards to fill the spaces in the deck where it would be good or bad. But I built the Alpha deck. It was really bad using all the Character Booster 1 cards, and then I rebuilt it in my own way, just using what I wanted to play. So I'm going to show you guys the deck. So we have it loaded up in Cardfight area. Come into the main screen. So we have 4 of the new Alfred, grade 3. Oh no, this is the bad build. Alright, I guess I'll show you guys the bad build that I built first. That didn't really work out. So, we have 4 of the new Alfred, 2 Swordsmen of Light Peaks. Now, the reason why I have this in here is because Alfred Oath skill, I wanted to call a grade 3 and a grade 2. Either being, the grade 2 being Amez and or Blaster Blade Spirit or Blaster Blade, and Swordsman of Light Peaks off of the new Alfred. It just didn't work out well because sometimes I had to ride this or this, and oh, that was just horrid when everything works off of having the Alfred Vanguard. So I ran 4 of the new Alfred, 2 Peaks, 2 Emmett Hammer, 1 Blaster Blade Spirit, 3 Blaster Blade the regular, 2 Ahmeds, 2 LaRousse for searching out those Flogels, 3 Romans, 4 Paris. Paris and Roman, like if you run one, you pretty much have to run the other for it to be good together. 3 Stride Fighters, 3 Unos, 4 Hope Keepers, the Brave PG, 1 Erulon as our starter, and then we ran the new Alfred crit, the Outmile crit, the Blaster crit for 12 crit, and then 4 heals of the old school heal. Our G-Zone, we ran 1 legit Sword Dragon. It's the new Alfred Blaster Stride. I think it's pretty good. Like if you're running a Blaster deck, when this card comes out, this card could be good for you because you just first stride into this instead of going into like Religious Soul Saver. And then you can literally just search a Blaster card. Now, unfortunately, you cannot search Lu, which is what the ideal thing to search would be off of this if it could search like any grade 2 or something like that. But it cannot search Lu. But moving on, 2 Fides, 2 Saint Blow, I ran 1 Gobblade, 4 Alt Miles, 2 Holy Squire Dragon, Alfred specific stride, 1 Andragius, and 3 Laser Guard Dragons. So I'm not really going to talk like much about that deck because it's not the version that I'm going to be playing in this. So let me open up the version that I will be playing. So, not deck editor, deck load, we're going to load up, boom. Alright, yeah, so this is the right deck after I rebuilt it, after playing the first version. I think it worked out pretty well, like it gets high damage in really well. I might like change the Alfred crits to some draw triggers if I want to survive a little longer. But it looks like this deck is just like, Alfred Blasters have always been like the deck that wants to end it while the game's still early. So this deck does a really good job of that. So I ran 4 King of Knights, Lights, Manifest, Alfred Oath, basically the new Alfred Year 3. Um, I run Alfred Exiv. I guess that's what most people call it. It's just the Alfred Legion card. The Legions with Blaster Blade or Blaster Blade Seeker. I ran 4 Romus in this build and 4 Paris, so I wanted to maximize the effectiveness of those two together. Then I ran 4 Ahmed and 3 Blaster Blades. So I cut LaRousse in this build because like I feel like LaRousse is like his cost is way too heavy. And I also cut the Blaster Blades period because I was just like I'd rather just call Ahmed and have like huge power and on hit pressure than like kill a card. Like if I need to kill a card, I'll go into Fides to stride. And I also think that counter blasts are precious in this deck, so that's why we were in Ahmed's. Ahmed's also, like, if you think about it, kind of kills a card, but your opponent has to hit, but like your rear guards are going to be huge, so most likely they'll let it hit. Like you'll get it off sometime, and then when you do, you can call Blaster Blade and get a free retire off of it. So it's really good. So you have Ahmed's, 3 Blaster Blade, 4 Paris, like I was discussing before, 4 Holy Knight Guardian, the unflip PG, because, like I said, counter blasts are precious. You have 4 Unos. Unos, besides its effect, is very good for being a Swordsman of Light grade 1 that you ride just to get this skill off. Because sometimes you have to ride Romus, and instead of Swordsman of Light, Ahmed's, or Blaster Blade, and you kind of don't want to ride them. You kind of want to ride him just so that you can get more usefulness out of them later. But Unos is very good just to like fill the requirement for the on ride. We still run. Oh, sorry, we skipped over 2 regular Stride Fodders. I decided to maximize more Paris in this version than Sisylis, so that you can get like pluses off of actually striding. It's really good. But so you have Erlon, 4 Belinus, 4 Flogel, 4 Poseidon Rider, and 4 Elaine. So that's 12 crit and 4 heal. Whew. Woo! Tired, guys. Every video we tired. But the Stride Zone, we changed it up too. This build we ran 2 legit Sword Dragon. Because this card legit, or more legit than the other cards were, like Gublade, and I switched out a Gublade for him. And then I ran 4 Holy Squire Dragon. So the reason I did this is because when you fight the Link Joker matchup, you want to crush them, and this card helps you crush them. And so the other option was like I cut 2 alt miles for it, which like every card in your deck pretty much calls cards, so you don't really need to use alt mile more than once, I think. 2 Fides for the retire and the +5 when you're actually in Brave. So when you get to that point where it's like kind of late in the game, you have a low hand, you just want to go into Fides probably. 2 Saint Blows for when you know they don't have a PG and you run 12 crit. You can probably imagine what will happen if you no guard a Saint Blow in this deck. And then you have Alt Mile, and then we have the same lineup for G Guardian. So 1 Andragius, 3 Laser Guard Dragon. So with that, I'm going to start the matches. I think speed 3 for the matches worked pretty well last time. Not sure, but for this video, I'm just going to end up doing speed 3, and if it's too fast, you guys just let me know. And then, like, the next future fight, I can slow it down. So here we're opening up. So the first match I did a test against was actually B-Police, the new version. So I'm actually riding I-Tac, just going through early game. I check heal, he just checks nothing. But he does have 2 heals in his opening hand, which explains a lot, because he kept G-guarding in this game against me, and I was like, how does he have all these G-Guardians that I didn't see? Like, I guess he just started the game with them, which he did. And then see, he just got a draw trigger and drew into the 3rd heal. So 3 heals that I don't have knowledge of at all. Um, that's broken. So he's using Diehawk here to early strat on me while I'm still on grade 2. He calls Die Lesson and Die Kaiser. So then I guard. Um, the reason why I'm just throwing heals to guard is because I don't care about them. I'm going to Legion them back later, especially because like Alfred Ixiv is the one I have to ride because I don't have the other one in hand. So here I'm using Legit Sword Dragon. I call Romus. Romus gets 2k from Legit Sword. He gets 5k from its own skill. I'm using Urlon to call another Romus. Romus gets 5k. And so the reason why I did that is in the case that I draw or drive check a Paris, which I really, really wanted, but I didn't get it, I don't believe. So he no passes. My stride here, check a heal, give it to rear guard, check a heal, give it to rear guard. So I guess that was pretty broken on my part too, except that I'm dealing with Dimension Police that can bust away all my guards. So that wasn't great. But he actually throws down 3 cards of stride here, and I was really happy that one was a Commander Laurel, because I was like, oh, he doesn't have a second one, but then he did have a second one. So it was kind of like, get screwed to me. And I just realized actually that I could have, since he wasn't attacking the Vanguard with a Leon skill, or actually, yeah, it doesn't even have to attack the Vanguard. Yeah, so never mind, I did that the right way. Because he would have just retired my G Guardian. But now he's attacking Vanguard with 3 crit. So he gets another crit, so I definitely would have died if I didn't block it. And then he checks the grade 3 in the form of whatever this card's called, Die Bazooka. Yeah. So even with him busting through my G guard or busting through my PG, the G guards were still more than enough to guard. So I stride. It kind of sucks that I don't have any counter blasts. That's why I took a little bit to decide. So I decided to go into Fides so I can kill off Commander Laurel. So I decided to play the grade 1 from my hand and then use Fides skill to call Ahmed's. And then Unos will go off and get 5k from its own ability. And then I just went in for the attack. I attacked 26 and I used GB3. I misclicked Die Lesson, but I meant to click Laurel. He retires Die Lesson, and then I basically told him that I meant to click Laurel. So then he PGs. I get a crit. I added all to rear guard, and I was like, okay, cool. He has to guard this for really, really big. So didn't know that he had yet again another G guard. So yeah, that was unexpected. 3 G guards off the bat, and like pretty sure at least 2 PGs he used already. So actually he only used 1 PG, but like yeah, those G guards though. So he goes into Max here, gives his whole front row plus 5k in a crit, and then this gets plus 10k in a crit. So that's balanced, right? So he attacks me with 21 and a crit. I take it. Thankfully, I get a heal and a crit. One could say that's pretty lucky on my part. So IPG, I have one in the drop zone. I unflip. He checks nothing, and so I'm just able to guard his last attack pretty easily with the 10k. I don't have any Stride Fighter on my hand, so I decide to Legion here, and I put back 3 heals and a crit. Yeah. And then I just Legion with Blaster Blade. And I decided to play the 2 from my hand because of it gaining a crit. So I attacked him 24 with a crit. It's unfortunate that I didn't check a critical or anything out of that, really. But I use Ahmed's here because Ahmed's hits to call a Blaster Blade over Ahmed's. And then it gets a free retire skill, and I decided to retire Die Lesson. He basically didn't realize like what Ahmed's skill did here, so I guess he had to take a little time to read Ahmed's, and then he retires it. Um, and then I attack 9 to his rear guard, and I attack 13, and he's able to guard it. So when he draws this card, I forgot if he had a grade 3 or not, and I was like, please don't have a grade 3. And then he break rides, and I'm just like, oh, I'm instantly dead. Like, all he would have had to do was attack me with just the break ride alone, and I'm pretty sure I would have died. But he decides to Legion 4 grade 3s back, which is kind of strange, but, you know, he decides to die jet. When he attacks me for 36, I can't guard and realize that like the only way is to double heal. And so hopefully I get those 2 heals from when I legioned them just now. But I don't get it, and that ends up being the first game, unfortunately. So yeah, I think the Alfred deck would have performed better in that first situation if he hadn't had 3 G guards and a PG. I think I would have ended the game a little bit earlier. But he did, and you know, that's Vanguard, so I can't be like upset about it or anything. But alright, so headed into game 2, I'm actually facing Genesis, and I think that this match was actually a great example of what this deck is capable of. So he rides a grade 1, I ride to grade 1, then I attack him for 12, I get a heal trigger, it's no big deal. Then he attacks me for 7. Took me a while to like realize what was going on here when he attacked me, because like I couldn't when he played the Haiti from his hand, it came in as rest, so I was like, what is going on? Like, did he use Revelation? But yeah, he didn't. So I attack the Blaster Blade, he takes it. I attack Vanguard, I check nothing, he checks the trigger, which is fine. I just attack the Haiti on the side. Then he rides to grade 3, plays a card, and then he decides to play the Sand Trigger and use Revelation into his soul. It gets rested, and then when this card gets rested, he gave 2k. So I 2 to past it, he gets nothing. Then I just take his 13. So this is like one of my favorite combos in the deck. So Alfred Oath skill, Counter Boss 1, Soul Boss 1, and I actually discard the other Romis because I have a Romis on the field, right? So I actually end up just searching a Unos, because I could have searched 2 cards, but I wanted to leave the space open because I'm going to call this Paris anyways. So I just left that, and then now that I'm striding with 2 cards, I am getting legit Sword Dragon, and then I'm using the skill of Paris. She draws a card, and then she calls herself, which is a plus, or a break even, I guess. Depends on how you think about it. I think that it's a plus because of the way that you get to use it. But yeah, I could see people like being like, "Oh, that's just a break even." So break even or a plus, but I use Erlon to call another card. Then I attack him for 21, which he can't guard. Then I attack him for 33, which he can't guard, and I have 12 crits in my deck. So I literally, confirmed that he said no guard. I checked a crit, and then I checked a heal, and then I checked a crit. So that was that game. The heal wasn't really necessary at all. Like, all I needed was 1 crit to check it, and I got 3 triggers. So it was kind of like, very whatever. So headed on to the final game of our future fight. I kind of forgot what the final match was played against. Oh yeah, Nubatama. Okay. So this game was weird. But it does like do a good job of showcasing like what this deck can do without being Generation Break. Because almost the entire Alfred deck is not Generation Break. So I take this attack in case I get a trigger, so I can want to pass him like I did and he didn't hit. Then I call that hey, no guards, he checks a trigger, I just attack his rear guard, he guards. I'm guessing because he wants the after image, but he Tamahaganes, I guard, he checks, I check a heal. I should have taken the first attack, but it's not a big deal. I Alfred Oath here, so he's still in grade 2. I kind of lost 1, Soul Blast 1, and then I call out Ahmed's and a Unos. Probably like the best thing that you can call, and then like Unos automatically triggers itself from both of them being called at the same time, and then I use Erlon to call another Ahmed's. It's pretty great. So I attack him, crit power. He takes 2 damage, and then I attack him for 20, a big number, so 29 or something like that, or 28. And if I had a counter boss open, I could have called Blaster Blade, so that would have been pretty great. He checks the stand. So he doesn't G-assist here. I think if he G-assisted, he would have lost, but because I had another Alfred Oath in my hand, I rerode, and I kind of boss 1, Soul Blast 1, discard 1, and then I called another Eunice and a Blaster Blade because I think I was out of Ahmed's to call. So then I call Ahmed from my hand, I attack him, he 2 passes me, I check a crit, give it all to the Ahmed's column, attack him for 21, and then I attack him for 28. And he has to guard with almost all the cards in his hand. So then he G-assists right here, and this is where he quits the game. Now I see why he quit the game, because he would have had to get Hagura Jishi, and even if he didn't have to get Hagura Jishi, let's assume that he gets a grade 3, he has to get rid of these 2 cards and 2 G units, and he can't stride. So I literally would have just guarded with like a 10 or something, and a 10 and a 5, so that he didn't double crit me, and then whatever he got off his twin drive wouldn't have been enough to guard my assault the next turn. I would have just either, like, since he's grade 3, I can just stride now, or I could just ride and then Legion all the crits that were in my drop zone. It would have been 4 crits, so 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one that I would have guarded with. So, and then I could have like played another card here to have the Vanguard gain a crit, and he would have indefinitely lost. So it was an unfortunate game for that player. But with that said, that will be the FutureFight for the Alfred deck. So in conclusion, I think that the deck will be not one of the best decks, but I think that will be like a sleeper deck. Definitely a deck that can catch you off guard in the early game. It reminds me very much so of like the Saint Guard deck that's popular right now. And honestly, like Blaster Alfred, like all those decks are kind of like the same, quote unquote. They're not really the same, but they all have like the same play style. Like get in all that damage early. This deck plays 12 crits, so it's just like the 12 crit Brave deck. Get in all those attacks early, and then they can't like guard later. So if you like grade 2, grade 3, especially if you get to go first, and you ride to grade 3 first, and then they don't ride or something like that, something silly, like you just beat them up, just like I did to this Nubatama player. So with that being said, guys, that has been the FutureFight for Alfred. Like, comment, subscribe if you liked it. Let me know which decks you guys would like to see in the future. Check out the description below, as I'll have like ARG stuff in there as usual. And then with that being said, I'll be signing out. It's been Josh from Cardfight Empire, and you guys have a great day. Bye.